Hello, hello everybody, welcome back. We are in the Alpha to Omega accounts. We are pretty much going to be going through the event. I've already done quite a few things in terms of like grabbing stuff and just whatever's gone on. But I haven't done any of the missions with these accounts. So we'll have a look at that and see how that's gonna go. As you can see, they are already a little bit higher in levels than what you would probably expect these characters to be at, because they have been AFK just running the Concord Pass in the background. Hello, Jitter. Good to see ya. How you doing? So we've got that we've done. One's level 9, one's level 7, one is level 6. And they are just running the time-based missions. That is... What other missions are we gonna get here? So we can go for like the 2 million-isk mission. Oh, 2 encounters would have been good if I'd grabbed that. Okay, so we've got 2 encounters, 4 encounters, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, and let's go with the 2 million-isk bounty. Hey, Azim, good to see you. How you doing today? Okay, we're looking for the 2 million-isk bounty for this character. There we are. Cool. So that's done. We've got to get all of the missions for this. 4 encounters. Oh, should have grabbed that. Okay, 4 encounters, 2 million isk, and 2 encounters is what we're looking for. Alright. Well, you be safe on the road. Okay. As you can see, I am currently just kind of training into other skills right now to keep our skill point gain going up until we hit Tech 8. I don't know how many of these skills we're going to have that we can train into to get us to Tech 8. But once we're there, we can activate Omega and use all of our Lazarus units in order to reset those skills and use them for battleship skills, if we can access them. I have been claiming these daily rewards pretty often, just so that way I have the chance of upgrading a nanocore once we get one. We've got a few different rewards to open as well. We've got 15 of these medical training boxes, which will be a bunch of money for us. We've got the Call to Arms mission box. And we've got our drones. So these large drones will be really good for when we get into battleships. We got some skill points for that as well. Alright, so that would be the boxes that we were sitting on. Go ahead and stack everything real quick. Alright, we're looking pretty good. Grab our little bit of Concord point rewards. We've got a new week here that we're working on. And we are still about 2 days from the last login reward. I think I really want to look into getting the nanocores going, but like I said, it's going to take about 60 of these keys, which is multiple Concord passes. I believe we get, Alphas now get 25,000 Concord points every pass without buying the Concord pass itself, which, out of curiosity, the full pass will give you 100,000. That's insane. That is actually insane. Alright. Let's go ahead and look at the event tab real quick, make sure we're not missing anything. We have our login. We have our growth fund done. Oh, Mega Duo, if we could afford it, would be kind of fun to get. But it's not really worth anything to us. Alright, so under our Encounters tab, we will have the talking mission. I'm going to skip through 2 of them, since we've already been through this on our main accounts, but for those of you only watching the alpha accounts, our I will read through this for you. Right, so we have multiple characters in here. I'm just going to read what it says, and the person that it is. I'm not going to try to voice act any of this. I'm not good at it. So we have the narrator here. Under the neon sign of the interstellar black market rusty galaxy, we have Lily glancing at the holographic parchment Golden City. Seriously, that hoax was debunked 20 years ago. Da Vinci over here, scanning with the mechanical eye, his encryption technique on the parchment. Unmistakably, only sleepers possess such advanced technology. Blackbeard chewing anti-smoking candy with a loud crunch. Who cares if it's real or not? Beats sitting there listening to Lily's endless bragging, suddenly stuck on the back of the head of a by a flying metal cup. Our character here, shrugging with resignation. Let's hope this isn't yet another crafty pirate ploy. The narrator, a holographic projection emerges from the letter, revealing Columbus in a suit. We have Columbus here, and I can't read half of these words because it's white on white. Adjusting his gold-rimmed glasses. Please trust in the sincerity of a scholar. All I require is your professional assistance. Sorry, I have a bit of a stutter. I hope we have a pleasant collaboration. Alright, so that will allow us to access the missions in space. So we'll have a few of these missions. Wondering if I should do the reset. I want to do a few of these special missions, but it seems like they don't drop all that often. Let's get us all in a fleet together. Okay, we are good there. Now, in our rewards recently, we have a compensation for event and counter missions causing AI cores to shut down. I really don't understand the high difficulty mention here, but maybe I'm just biased around my marshals, and the marshals just make light work of most high-sec events. So, we'll see how the prophecies perform with the event missions. These missions can no longer be auto-accepted and now must be manually initiated. Please dock at a space station to claim your rewards, which will give us these purple amethyst cones that will allow us to activate AI on our gold nanocores once we have access to that. It's likely we will only have access to that once we hit Tech 8 with... Hopefully we can get our hands on 3 rattlesnakes. I think that would be a lot of fun. We also have a reward here for the update, a reward for the beginning of the Great Voyage event, which is the 2 boxes that we opened, one of them giving us the drones, and the other one giving us the mission in order to actually start the event stuff that's going on. Alright, let's go ahead and undock.
Undocking. Undocking.
I want to see what kind of bounty kit comes out of one of these missions in the advanced version of it. So we need to go to Erlin, was it? Erlin, yep.
Fleet jump.
Warp drive active. Warp drive active.
Okay, we are here in Erlin, and our mission, we have to activate it. And now it should be in our list. It is called the Sleeper Small Relic.
Fleet warp.
I need to make sure I have everything turned on for battle settings. Good.
Warp drive active. Warp drive active.
I don't expect these to be much harder than our typical 1.5 million ISK missions, so we'll probably encounter like a battle cruiser in here or something. Not really sure.
We're under attack.
They do take a while to lock onto. That's something different.
We're under attack. We're under
You can see they
attack.
pretty easily start tearing through our shields on the prophecies. But that's not a problem for us.
Enemy ships detected.
They are mostly,
We're under attack.
I believe it was EM and thermal or something like that. So it is going to tear through your shields quite a bit easier. Their weakness is explosive and kinetic,
Shield damaged.
and so that's what you want to focus on. They don't have any shields themselves, they are
under
only
attack.
armor and structure. Which is pretty unique for
Shield
enemies in this game.
damaged.
Normally they'll have a shield, an armor, and
Enemy
a
ships
structure.
detected.
The only other enemies I know of in game that
We're under
have
attack.
that unique armor and structure without any shields is
Shield
um,
damaged.
the Wasteseeker Centrum, in Dormant Realm 4, which will start with no shields.
We're under attack.
They definitely do have some decent damage behind them. We're running pretty minimal tank right now. All of our tank is based on the resistances from the Prophecy skill and 2 armor repairs. But even with just 1 armor repair, we're keeping up just fine.
We're under attack.
Okay, that was a pretty easy one. I have no idea if they will drop any loot. Let's go ahead and do another one of these. This one is in whatever that name is. I'd call it Kailambe, but that's not the right pronunciation for that. Kilmambe? I don't know.
Autopilot engaged.
Fleet jump.
Warp drive active. Warp drive
So this will
active.
give us an idea of what kind of
Warp drive active.
bounty ticks these missions are giving.
Shield damaged. Fleet jump.
Warp drive active. Warp drive active.
Okay. Almost there. 2 more jumps.
Fleet jump.
Warp drive active. Warp drive active. Warp drive active.
One more jump.
Fleet jump.
Warp drive active. Warp drive active. Warp drive active.
And we are in system, and we are looking for that sleeper small relic.
Fleet warp.
Warp drive active.
The echo on that is insane.
We're under attack.
Yeah, I'm always trying to look at what I want to do next. I'm still not sure. Right now, my goals are pretty much very minimal and weekly based. Maybe at some point I'll get some itch to try something out in the future, and then we'll get a bunch of videos on that. I still have to work my way through Dormant Realm 3, so maybe we'll do some of that later this week,
Under attack.
so we can eventually do Dormant Realm 3 runs. Ah, might be a skunk, if it smells that bad. Good. Yeah, it's a pretty bad situation all around.
Ships detected.
Oh well. Don't let it get you down or anything. Um, it's always sad to see an animal get hurt or die or whatever, but accidents do happen, and you just need to move on.
We're under attack.
Yep. That's the end of that mission. Okay, we're gonna head to Foreign, because on our way there we can grab all of our missions that are sitting around and we can do some missions in Foreign.
Autopilot engaged.
So we're looking for all of the 5-jump green ones.
Warp drive active.
I mean, as far as I can tell, we're pretty much done with the event, unless I've missed
Shield
something.
damaged.
There's just the actual, where is it?
Warp drive active.
The set sail mission thing.
Shield damaged.
Warp drive active. Warp drive active.
So we have 14 days with this event. Man. This event could have probably just been like a 1 week event with how little content it brought to it. The most interesting thing they've got is the new fighters that act like sniper guards.
Warp drive active.
Well, at 20 billion, that's a really good price. Phoenix is literally perfect for doing Dormant Realm 4. Okay, let's get these missions done.
Fleet warp.
Warp drive active.
Yeah, for 20 billion, that's really good price.
We're under attack. We're under attack.
You know what we haven't done yet with these alpha characters is we haven't taken them up against those harder missions that we can do right now. They just haven't dropped any. Yeah, if you're like extremely lucky, you might find like a Karura at 50 million. You might find a Hubris at like 58. No, not the low sec ones. The 1.5 million is story missions and stuff that you can do in high sec. Really, the bounty is that low on those, huh? Wow. So the event missions in the advanced tab are only worth doing for the mission completion, not the bounty tick. So the mission completion on those missions were 1.5 million, but the bounty tick was only 104,000. Alright, be safe, Azim. Good luck.
Fleet warp.
Warp drive active.
And the prophecies just make everything so much nicer in high sec compared to the Vexes we were running. while we're doing this, I'm gonna go ahead and expedite some skills. I need to choose a skill to increase. I think I'll increase Destroyer Engineering because that's got 3 days on it.
We're under attack. We're under attack. Shield damaged.
So what I'm doing to maintain our skill growth is I'm just training into any skill that I can to keep our skill points going. As an alpha pilot, you only get 55 hours of skill training before it will lock you out from having too many skill points. So in order to get around that, you choose skills like anything that you have access to, and hopefully from now until Tech 8, we won't ever have to think about activating Omega.
Fleet warp.
Warp drive active.
Alright, let's get to it. All of this character's missions are done, so we'll move on to opening the next tab.
We're under attack. We're under attack. Enemy ships detected. We're under attack. We're under attack.
So that bounty tick was from the second mission that we did of the new event, and
Enemy
that's just
ships
not
detected.
worth it for the bounty tick. I do have the feeling that the developers are working on something bigger, and that's why this event probably did not get the love that previous events had gotten. It is very likely that this event was just to hold us over until they could get to the release date that they were wanting for something much more in-depth. It's what they usually do when things like this come around where they don't have a whole lot of content that they can put out right away. And so they do something a little bit easier for them, something they don't have to put a whole ton of effort into, but will still provide some amount of content to keep players in the game and moving around. And then after these kind of events, we usually get something pretty large.
Fleet War.
Warp drive active.
We're under attack.
Yeah, and while I do say that, I don't know for sure what they're planning. I wish I did, but I'm willing to bet the content creators that are supported by Eve Echoes, I doubt they even know what's going on right now. Even people like Virtual haven't covered much of the game in the last month or two. Virtual's been doing a lot of PvP, and he only recently did a couple of ship reviews of really old ships at this point.
Enemy ships detected. We're under attack. Shield damage.
So yeah, the general game right now is just kind of flatlining, taking it easy until they release the next balance changes and whatever else they have planned. That's a very common timeline for games like this.
Enemy ships detected. We're under attack. We're under attack. Fleet War.
While we go into the next mission, we will check out the market a little bit,
Warp
see what's
drive
going
active.
on. Okay, let's see what's going on. So, Flex is currently at 8.1 million. That's pretty normal, a little bit higher than usual. We were looking at a rattlesnake in the future, 2.8 million, 2.9 billion. Not bad. It's definitely on the more expensive side of things. Yeah, just kind of looking around, seeing what's going on.
Enemy threats
Let's see here. Myrmidons are at 250 million. Oh my goodness. They went up in price. Oh wow, prophecies are pretty cheap. That's a very cheap prophecy. It's so wild to me that the prophecies are so low in price compared to the Myrmidon. I think that's the first time I've seen them so far apart in price. Yeah, I gotta see, like, what these things are actually doing on the market. Oh, weird. What do you think about the new drone symbols? Those are kind of interesting. It's under sentry drones, right? Yeah. 40 billion. 2 billion. 242 million is not bad. Do you mean the armor, the armor plate, or the armor harness? Because yes, modules do stack at a reduced amount per module. Yeah, the new icons are pretty good looking.
Fleet
I
War.
like that it distinguishes between different tiers of drone rather than just relying on like a green, a blue,
Warp drive active.
a purple square in the corner. Gosh darn. I am not looking forward to tomorrow. Tomorrow I have to wake up at 5 in the morning just to get to a qualifier test for my job, which will take 2 hours, and then I have to drive back home. That's just a nuisance.
Enemy ships detected. We're under attack.
I'm in Florida. So it is 7:30 at night right now. So I've got less than, about 10 hours before I have to be there. Well, before I have to wake up, I guess.
Enemy ships detected.
I'll wake up at 5 just to be safe. Hmm.
Fleet warp.
Yeah.
Warp drive active.
Oh no, I didn't have a question for you. That's Pacific Northwest. So anywhere in the northwest of the United States. So I didn't realize it yesterday, but during our first run of Dormant Realm, either our first run or our second run, our bottom left character, the screen completely cut out for that run. I was so busy managing my modules, I could not see what was going on in the
We're under
preview.
attack.
Such fun technical issues,
Shield
but it's
down.
not too bad. Literally, immediately after that run ended, it came right back. I don't know why it did that, but there it goes. Yeah, it was probably just a capture software problem. Okay, that is all our missions done on that character. Go ahead and finish this character here.
Fleet war.
And in the meantime, we'll check to see if we can get
Warp drive
another
active.
event mission rolled here. No, it's not a new gaming laptop. Why is that 13 jumps away? I am not going 13 jumps to go do that. It's a gaming laptop that I've had since we started streaming. So it's not new, it's just one I've been using.
Enemy ships detected.
I think the heaviest game that I play is, Monster Hunter Wilds. And then after that, it would be either War Thunder or World of Tanks. And then way down the list is like Dark Souls 3.
Enemy ships detected.
Yep. I really do enjoy playing Dark Souls 3. And I think I like it more than Elden Ring in some cases. I like that I can sit down and play Dark Souls 3 all the way through in about 2 hours.
We're under
Whereas Elden Ring, I'm gonna be stuck playing that for like 20 or 30 hours at least, usually.
attack. Fleet rule.
Warp drive active.
If if base game Elden Rings gave you the option to start in the DLC, I would have absolutely done that instead. But that's a mod, and I am just not gonna do that. I do not have any New Game Plus runs of Elden Ring. I completed the game twice now, but I just can't bring myself to play New Game Plus. It's not because I find it difficult or anything, but I find it very boring not upgrading weapons and things like that. I really enjoy starting a game from scratch and going all the way through and having that level of progression between the weapons, the armor, the combat efficiency, having to deal with challenges. Um, and New Game Plus just does not provide any of that other than some health increase in most cases.
Enemy ships detected.
Maybe one day I'll consider like a really long stream where I try to get to New Game Plus 7 on Dark Souls 3. But, you know, that's about 17 or 18 hours if I have some of my worst runs. All of that being said, not having to run around and grab materials and upgrades and weapons in New Game Plus runs, um, could cut it down to like 12 hours or something like that. Yeah, it's definitely a longer marathon. I have to feel good
Fleet rule.
on a day to do that. I also have to have a day off to do that.
Warp
If
drive
I do
active.
that marathon, it is definitely something that I'm going to upload to the channel. But I'd like to have people there just talking and chatting throughout the day, so I have something to talk about while I run Dark Souls. Ooh, that was a good bounty kick. Dang. That's pretty fresh. $2 million. Wonder how we ended up with that. That was our first individual 2 million ISK bounty kick. Yeah, I hope there'll be a couple more people hanging around. It's I can't tell you how much it helps when you guys are asking questions and just generally talking in chat about things. Because it gives me ideas on what to talk about and gives me things to talk about. See, I've never actually gotten to New Game Plus 7 on my own. I've always just gotten to, like, New Game Plus 2 or Plus 3 and called it a day. And then just eventually went around and deleted those and made new characters and continued my new game speedruns. Alright, that was all of the missions we ran into for Foreign. I'm just gonna check one more time on if I want to do anything else. I mean, we've got a couple more missions here. And one more mission here, so let's go ahead and do those.
Fleet War.
Yeah, right. It really
Warp
is
drive
nice
active.
that you can, like, build into whatever you want in New Game Plus. You get so many souls and respecs and things, but that is not the point of that kind of speedrun marathon. God, I've done so many different challenge runs and things of that game. Easily the most difficult one, or time-consuming one, that I've done was the Broken Straight Sword, so level 1. That was very time-consuming and horrible. I think in the end it took me 4.5 hours to do that run.
We're under attack.
You just have to be so perfect with everything,
We're under
and that's
attack.
really hard to do in Dark Souls 3.
Enemy ships detected. We're under attack. We're under attack. Fleet warp.
Warp drive active.
Hopefully we get another update to the AI mining. Because the only thing they have left to fix is the warp from, felt to felt. Yeah, I think the new longbow feature is nice, but it still doesn't make the longbow worth using in Dormant Realm. They need to reduce that amount of healing loss from 50% down to like 20% maybe, and then you would see people using it in Dormant Realm. Yeah, the 30% lock-on time thing that they added to it is really nice. It kind of feels more similar to the carriers when they have the lock-on module in the mid slot. Very similar to that. It's just more permanent. It's like a 2-minute thing instead of like every 15 seconds or something like that.
We're under attack. We're under attack. We're under attack.
Yeah, and you lock the boss pretty quick anyway. He's so big. God, the more I think about it, the more I want a super carrier in high sec, because why not?
Fleet War.
I don't even think he can transfer them with the in-game transfer thing to
Warp drive
Gina.
active.
But if I can, that might be my goal. I don't know. Yeah. So, you know, we've got the capital ship transfer between ITCs. I don't know if that can apply to a super capital. So, if it can, then we're looking at possibly having a super carrier in Gina. I know nobody's ever tried, because it's just dumb. But how silly would it be if you could sell supers to high-sec players so they can get Golden Realms? And you can upmark that value in Gina because there's no one else doing it. If you could get a super and sell it in Gina, you could probably mark it up by like 500 million.
Enemy ships detected.
Or 500 billion. And somebody in high sec would probably buy it. Yeah, you would not be. You would not be. Transferring it with ships. You would be using the in-game transfer for ISK, the system transfer from ITC to ITC. So you'd have to at least take a super capital from one wherever you're at to an ITC out in low-sec or null-sec, and then transfer it from there to Gina with the system transfer. Or blow up your super and rebuild it in Gina with IP. That is also a horrible option. Oh, no problem. Your family will always come first. I'm just a guy on the internet.
Autopilot engaged. Warp drive active.
Alright, so we're gonna head back to Gina. Not for any particular reason, I just selected Gina instead of Perimeter. Let me go ahead and change that.
Autopilot engaged. Warp drive active.
Okay, we're switching it back to Perimeter, since we're gonna have to go through there anyway.
Warp drive active. Docking request accepted.
Alright. Got another level for our pass here. Gives us some IP. This event is really good for IP. It's actually crazy. You get like, what is it, 500 or 600 IP? So, no. If you get the advanced one, you get 2,000 IP. That's crazy. It is usually... I mean, it's ship dependent and, class dependent. But if I remember correctly, it is something like 30% of its volume compared to when it's not packaged. We can probably test that actually. So, I'm going to unpackage this in Cursus. So that's your that's your capacity here. On the right, when it's packaged, it's 2,500 for the in-curses, whereas when it's not packaged, it is 29,000. So it's actually closer to like 8% on a frigate. We might be able to check this with the correct, right? Well, let's check it with the special, whatever. Yeah, it's like 8% or 10%, so not bad. Yeah, it is 10% of the volume of the assembled ship. And if I understand it correctly, the the current freighters cannot carry many. I I can't remember if it can't carry one capital ship or if they can carry a couple of capital ships. Not something I have on the top of my head. I think if you maxed out the the cargo hold of our current freighters, it might be able to have a chance. It'd be nice if we could do like Tidal Lock or Before the Abyss or Surge with the battle cruisers. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's only one capital, and the supercarriers are not included that. Concord fast stuff. Why am I missing points on this? This will have to stay open overnight so that way I can get the last few levels of our Concord Pass. In the meantime, let's do some... Let's do some keys. We have 16,000, so that means we can do 16 keys. Oh, I have 15 on this one. Okay, let's go ahead and open a few of these up. Ooh, we got a box. We got the battleship box. Yes. Yes. That's what we wanted. That's what we wanted. That's funny. We got the Myrmidon, not the prophecy. I will probably analyze that Myrmidon, and I will also analyze this Hound Trailblazer. Ooh, Ashimu. Interesting. Oh, that is so what we wanted. That is so good. What's this? Garmer. Nice. We'll analyze the Garmer as well. That is sweet. That's awesome. What was that last one we got? That was a Hurricane Ascension Core. What box was that? I hope that was a Battlecruiser box. So that's the Battleship box. This is the Cruiser box. Interesting. So that would allow us to upgrade Helos. So we got Myrmidon and we've got Hound. Yep, we've got both the Cruiser box and the Battleship box. So that's the Battleship box, Thermomagnetic Storm, which is what we wanted for the Rattlesnake. Although the Rattlesnake core itself is going to be the Ascension Rattlesnake rather than Thermomagnetic, because I don't see a option here. If we were at Tech 9, I'd consider going for the Dominix one because we can boost drone thermal damage. But we can't fly a Dominix until we hit Tech 9. So the Rattlesnake is our best option. And it's okay. The Ascension Core is just alright. would be much better if we had thermomagnetic, but there's no uh, rattlesnake version of it. Dang, we could. I wonder if it would be better if at Tech 8 we get into a rattlesnake on all three of our characters. At Tech 9 we sell off the rattlesnake or give it away, whatever we do with it. Um, and get ourselves a Dominix. Because we can get thermomagnetic storm core for the Dominix, and that would be a lot better than what the rattlesnake would be doing. The rattlesnake has a problem where the split DPS just makes it worse overall. And so a ranged Dominix with sniper drones would be a lot better. And since we already have... I can't remember if these are the ones that are... Yeah, these are the sniper ones. So since we already have the sniper sentinels from this event, we could go with the drone kinetic damage and just absolutely boost them through the roof. How do these compare to the other drones? Sentry drones, we're looking for wardens and snipers, guards. So I'm assuming... Okay, so they're actually... Wow. Okay. So the basic Compass Sentinel there is right between a Sniper Warden and an Offense Warden. How does it compare to... These are thermal, so I can't compare them. So that's a problem. Yeah, so they're kind of more similar to the Sniper Warden than they are the Offense Warden, I think. They're right in between. I don't know, 36 versus 37.8. Yeah, they're probably closer to the offense than they are the snipers. 4 tracking speed, though. Oh. Oh my. So they have the tracking speed of a guard. Because the guards are 4.2. Oh my. What's the kind of range they're working with? Oh. Oh my. Optimal is better than the sniper guards, but it's kind of worse than the wardens. Okay, I need to do a stream using these on the Dominic's Navy. Well, I guess I have a new stream to do later this week. Because, oh my. Dang, I've gotta check that real quick. Okay, we're doing some quick swaps here. Because I do have my Dominic's Navies set up in a basic way. I need to see what they're getting on the Dominic's Navy. I don't care about DPS, I care about seeing what kind of range and stuff they end up with. These might be better drones than we've ever had. Yeah, I need, like... What I need to do is buy some... wardens for one. Because right now I'm running, sniper guards on all of mine, I believe. Yeah. I'm running sniper guards on all of mine. So, don't look at the DPS. We're only looking at sort of tracking speed, optimal... Wow. Oh my. Oh my. Tracking speed is better on the snipers. Wow, I only have one of these left? Mmm. Stinky. And I need to find some... Yeah, I mean, they're right between the Warnens, the Sniper Warnen, and the other one. So that's 138, this is 151. I'm not gonna be using these Warnens, so I'm just gonna buy some cheap ones. We're not comparing DPS. Okay, starting from the top here. Damage is quite a bit higher, but like I said, we don't really care about that all too much. The defense on the Sentinels. Give me a minute. Okay, so the defense on the Sentinels is quite a bit higher, similar to the Sniper Guards. The Wardens are very weak. All the activation times are pretty much the same. The Sniper Guards have a 2.46 instead of a 2.48. The command range. Let me just see if my Dominixes have different skills. Because that's probably what we're seeing, yeah. Yeah, so two of my characters have less command range overall. But even still, we're looking at 10, like 7 kilometers difference, which could just be down to skills. Tracking speed is right in between Wardens and Guards, where the Guards are at 9 tracking speed. The Sentinels are at 6.85, and the Wardens are at 2.3. Optimal range on the Guard is 61.7. Optimal range on the Sentinel is 62.37. Optimal range on the Warden is 94.88. Accuracy fall off on the Guard is 48.1. Accuracy fall off on the Sentinel is 71.8. And accuracy fall off on the Warden is 51.24. Let me go ahead and change over to Aerospace Implant now. And we'll look back at those stats in just a minute. That's without Siege Mode. I just realized that's without Siege Mode. Okay, so now that we have our Aerospace Implant, damage has gone up significantly. The Wardens are just a tiny bit weaker, if you consider that I've chosen Mark 9s versus the Sniper equivalent. Um, wow. Okay. Still looking at the same kind of ranges. Sniper Guards now have 65.9 optimal. Sentinels have 66.99. And Wardens have 94.88 for their optimals. The fall off on the Sniper Guard is 51.26. Fall off for the Sentinel is 76.86. And fall off on the Warden is 51.24. Tracking speed has gone down a little bit. Sniper Guards have an 8.52 instead of 9.02. Sentinels have 6.42 and Wardens have 2.36. I am definitely making a YouTube video out of this. Let me undock here. Hello? Oh, I'm in the Dormant Realm fleet. Lol. There we go. We're gonna check what we have in siege mode. And with our implant active. So we'll start with the implant being active. More differences in range. DPS remains the same currently. Okay. So now with siege mode active on the Dominic's Navy, the Sniper Guards have a optimal range of 89.02. The Sentinels have an optimal range of 90.44. The Wardens have an optimal range of 128. The Sniper Guards have a fall off of 69.2. The Sentinel has a fall off of 104. And the Wardens have a fall off of 69.17. Right now, as it sits, the Sentinels have the largest range, I think. 194, 128.69. No, the Wardens still have a little bit of an edge. Wow, only 3 kilometers difference of an edge. Okay, so let's go ahead and activate siege mode now. We'll see differences in DPS. Some of the issue we're seeing here is I do have tracking links on here. But that is what I would run depending on range and stuff like that. Okay. I did activate siege mode, right? Yep. I should dock this one up and put a range modifier on it, see what it's getting after that. Yeah, I mean, that's... I would... Man, that's a hard choice. If you need the extra range, and you don't want to lose the tracking or anything like that, I would go with the Sentinel over the Sniper Guard. Um, the Sentinel, as I currently have it, has a 194.44 kilometer range for half efficiency. Whereas the Sniper Guards are going to have a 158.22 kilometer range, and only for an extra 1 tracking speed. The main choice you're going to have to make here is whether losing the DPS is going to be worth it. I don't think I have any mech sentries, and they are very expensive. I
Docking
can check
request
though.
accepted.
I have the capital ship things. So I guess the only way we can do this, because I'm not gonna go and spend a god-awful amount of money on trying to compare these. Okay, so they're kind of opposite each other. The Compass Sentinel's still gonna have more range overall, but the Pulsar Sentinel is going to have better optimal. 4.08 tracking speed, so they'll have the same tracking. It has way less defense. And it's got a lot better DPS because there's no basic version of it. If you're comparing like the Sniper Sentinel to the Pulsar Sentinel, there we go. They're pretty much identical in DPS. The Pulsar is going to be EM and thermal. Yeah. And the Compass Sentinel is going to be kinetic and explosive. So definitely interesting. It's not a bad choice by any means. If you're someone that is going to fly a Dominix or something, you can get a lot of use out of these basic Compass Sentinels that we got. 5 of them puts you in a really good position in the Dominix. And they're free. I mean, the biggest point is they're free. That's pretty wild. I like it. Okay, I need to reprocess. Was it these? Yeah, I have a lot of commentations. Yeah, I'm sitting on 18 here, 5 here, another 5 over here. And then 40, 40, and 40. So if I want to spend like a whole day grinding and doubling, I can do that. Wild. Alright. Well, that'll be it for me today. Thank you all so much for joining me. Just wanted to get in here and try out the event stuff on our alphas. And it went pretty well. I mean, I'm still very kind of disappointed in this event in a sense. Um, but I wouldn't call it a bad event by any means. I do miss having the unique songs at the beginning of a update. I miss having multiple versions of missions through an event. I miss having like a mission chain or a story mission chain that you can do. Overall, it's just kind of like a really easy event for them to make to hold us over, without breaking the game or causing problems overall. Yeah, it just gives the players something to do, and I like that. I would have liked to have had this event be more similar to like a Waste Seeker event, where random anomalies would have spawned in space, but unfortunately we did not get that. Um, Not really much to say about it overall. I think the rewards for doing the event itself is pretty good for an alpha player. Um, you're talking about a bunch of free experience, some Ascension neural compilers, Lazarus units, IP, um, very good rewards for alphas to get. Hell, even at level 30, you're gonna get 300,000 skill points. The the 10 Cosmic Treasure op boxes, awesome. Love that. Um, this box is going away at the end of this event, or sometime after the event. I think they said like April 30th or something. But this box is going away permanently, so if you do not have these boxes, make sure you finish off whatever you've got for them. Yeah, not a whole lot to say about it, but overall it's a pretty good event, I guess, for holding us over until the next major update. So thank you all so much for joining me today, and I will see you on the next one. I don't know when that will be. I'm pretty busy tomorrow. If I feel energetic tomorrow, I'll do a stream. I don't know when it will be, but we'll do something. So thank you all, and have a good one.